If you are interested in vans, van life, outdoor living, you have probably noticed that a lot of people living in vans, at some stage, they create a video called the 5 tips if you want to get into van life, the 10 mistakes that people make when they're getting into van life. I'm not going to do that, but I think it's inevitable that after a while, after you've been living in a van for a while, you want to share the experience. And if I have a YouTube channel where I'm sharing my life and the way I live my life, I think it's inevitable that I was going to get to a point where I would want to share with people my experiences, the things that I've learned recently, how the experience of living in a van has changed me, has changed the way I see aspects of my life. So I'm gonna do something similar here. I am going to share my experience with you and the things that have changed in a way that I look at people who live in vans. I also realized that a lot of people here in the channel, now that I have more than 1,000 subscribers, it starts to feel like I have an audience finally. I think I started the channel in 2021, but now it kind of feels real. I see people coming back, the same people commenting on the videos, and then I have the opportunity to have a little bit of a back and forth with those people. Thank you if you're one of them. And I've always wrestled with the idea of sharing my personal life on YouTube, which is weird because now I have a YouTube channel about my life living in a van. My last video was a van tour where I even opened the drawers and the cabinets inside my house, and I showed you how I live my life, how I organize my environment, how I shuffle things around, and where my surfboard is, and where my tech gear is, and where I put my phone and my iPad when I watch a movie, which is very personal, it's very intimate, but a lot of people don't know who I am, where I come from, and what I'm about. So I have decided to get over the fear of sharing a little bit more about myself here on YouTube, and I'm going to share with you. My name is Giovanni, or at least that's how you say it in Australia. As you can probably tell by my accent, I was not born in Australia. I was born in Brazil. I moved over to Australia 11 years ago, and it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. I started my journey from the beginning in Australia, as a lot of people do. Came over on a student visa, and I worked as a barista making coffee for probably around 2.5 years, 3 years. And then I went back to corporate. I used to work for a company that you have probably heard of. They're very famous. It's called Dell Technologies. You've probably seen their computers and monitors and servers around. And I worked for Dell Technologies for 15 years in 2 different seasons. So the first season was in Brazil. The second season was here in Australia. And I left Dell here in Australia around a year and a bit ago. And I was lucky enough to be able to take a career break. So I'm recording this video in 2025, June, 1st of June, 2025. So I had a chance to take a career break. So the second half of 2024 and the first half of 2025, I was on the road. And it was around that time that I decided to live in my van. I had quite a few big changes in my personal life, and it didn't make sense to me to move into a house or an apartment. And this is my second van. I had a little van before. I fell in love with camping and surfing in Australia. I didn't used to camp when I was in Brazil. I didn't used to surf when I was in Brazil. And I often tell my friends that I don't know how I lived without these 2 things in my life for 33 years. This is how I love to spend my time, either in the water, which I did this morning, and in the afternoon, and at nighttime, camping. That's why a lot of people don't know, and people ask me, that's a weird name, Drive Surf Camp. Why is the name of the channel Drive Surf Camp? Why isn't it your name? Or I don't know, create some branding around it. And to me, Drive Surf Camp is the idea of my perfect day. I wake up in the morning, I drive somewhere, which is exactly what I did this morning. Normally I drive to the beach, I surf for as long as I can, for as long as I want, if it's a Sunday like today. And then at the end of the day, I camp somewhere, sometimes in my van, sometimes in a tent. So yeah, I fell in love with camping, and I had a little van before this big beast, which is now my house. And then when I was still living in a house, I bought this one. I hired a company to convert the van. And by the way, if you want to know more about the van, my last video is the full van tour where I explain everything. As I already mentioned, I open all the drawers and cabinets and I show everything. Talk about the car a little bit as well. This has been the best season of my life by far. And I'm sorry if you can hear all the cars and motorbikes. It's because I'm in a farm. I'm in a hip campsite, but I'm near a road. And if you can see a lot of smoke around, it's because I have very wet firewood. It's more smoke than fire actually today. Speaking of that, I need to start cooking my dinner, and I'm going to do it right now because it's getting late and it's going to get dark really soon. I am sorry to interrupt the video, but I have to tell you about Vankido. One thing that I do love about my van are all the windows I have. In such a small space, having a 270-degree view really helps prevent that claustrophobic feeling that you get when spending so much time in such a tiny space. During the day, the dark tint I have on the windows gives me privacy while letting me enjoy the view. But at nighttime, when it's dark outside and all the lights are on inside, all these windows throw my privacy out the window. See what I did there? And can't turn my van into a fishbowl without proper shades. And that's where Vankido comes in. Vankido specializes in bus and van life products, including handcrafted blockout window shades made right here in Australia. They call these the stealthy shades. And here is what I love about it. They attach to your windows with built-in magnets, making them really easy to use. Stealthy shades provide both privacy and insulation, keeping my van noticeably cooler or warmer depending on the season. They're custom fit for your vehicle with no light leakage. I've tested it with like pitch black situation outside with all my lights on the inside, and you cannot see a thing. In my opinion, window shades are a must-have for van life comfort, and if you're looking for the best in Australia, check Vankido's website and don't forget to use the code 50DSC for $50 off any stealthy shade. And thank you very much, Vankido, for sponsoring this video. And please don't judge me. I am making my steak in the air fryer, even though I have a fire pit here. But I forgot my fire pit where I have a grill and I have everything to cook with. I couldn't really cook on this one, so I'm making my steak tonight in the air fryer. So yeah, then I didn't think it would make much sense to move into an apartment. And I'm still on the road. I still live full-time inside this beautiful van, and it's been amazing. I'm not gonna lie, as I said before, it's been the best season of my life. And I also have the luxury, and I'm very privileged that now, after my career break, that's the part I didn't tell you, I am back working full-time. That's another question that I get sometimes from people, like, how are you making a living? How do you make your money living in your van? You look like you're traveling most of the time. I had a bit of savings for the last 12 months, but now I am back into full-time work. I work in IT, sales IT, and my arrangement with the company I work for is what we call hybrid. So we have an office. I don't really have to go. I'm not obligated to go to the office every day, or I don't even have to go at all, but I go because I like to. Um, Sometimes you have meetings and things like that, and events that I have to go, and I go. I'm happy to go. I like the office. I like the routine. I like the contrast. But yeah, so I've been back in full-time work for the last month. It's been only 30 days, and I'm loving it. Um, Something else about me that you probably don't know, during last year, during my career break, I was able to turn YouTube into a business. Now I'm monetized, I'm making a little bit of money, I have sponsors. If you watch the van tour again, you can see who the sponsors are, and I'm probably going to have one of them. It's actually going to be me talking to you about the sponsor, about the brands in a little bit in this video. Um, so YouTube is now a business, and I also managed to establish another business for a brand called Infinity around April last year. I've always been a fan of the brand, and you probably don't know what the brand is about. They are a surf brand from Dana Point, California. They've been in the markets since the 70s. Really nice group of people. They started making surfboards, but now they also make stand-up paddle boards. Very niche, very specific. Race and surf, stand-up paddle boards, high-end carbon fiber. I've always been a fan of the brand, and I managed to get the deal done with Dave and the team in the US in April last year. So now I am the distributor for Infinity in Australia and New Zealand. So technically I have three jobs. I have the YouTube channel, I have Infinity, and I have a full-time job. And I also have another business which is kind of like dormant on the side. It's called A-Frame Surf Media. I'm also a surf photographer. I do a lot of things, as you can tell. But yeah, so the three main ones: the YouTube channel, Infinity, and my full-time job. So that's a little bit about me. I have two kids. My daughter is 24 and my son is 13. So I think that's all I would share about me at this stage. That's a brief story of who I am, what I've done recently, and where I'm going. My plan for the foreseeable future. As a lot of people living in vans on YouTube, my plan is to save a lot of money, because I will need a lot of money to buy land and put a tiny house on the land, a few containers, potentially make it a business with Airbnb. I am officially working in my early retirement. That's what I want to do. I don't want to work until I'm 65, 70 years old. I want to work really hard for the next few years and move out of Sydney. I'm mostly based in Sydney. The office of the company I work for is in the city. My family is based in Sydney in the North Shore. So yeah, that's the plan. I think it's inevitable once you're on the road and you're living this such a freeing lifestyle. It's hard not to consider trying to find an arrangement that would allow you to live closer to nature long term. So that's why I think you see on YouTube a lot of people who live in vans eventually progress to get a cabin in the woods, like Eamon and Beck, like Max and Aki. Who else? There is a couple, the two girls, I think the Van Wives also have a cabin in the woods. Yeah, a lot of people do that. Christian, what's her name? Christian Schaefer, I think. She lives in the US. And Linnea and Aquila as well. Now she bought land. So of course, I mean, you're a product of your environment, and you get inspired and influenced by these people as well. But now, having had a chance to stay in tiny houses many, many times, I can tell and I can feel like I would be pretty happy um, living the rest of my days in a mini farm, in a tiny house with a few containers around, where I can have my office, my gym, keep creating videos for YouTube, keep reselling stand-up paddle boards, and living the dream. Let's check what's going on here. This is looking good. Keep going. So enough about me. Let me share some of my experiences, thoughts, reflections about me living in a van for almost 2 years now. And the first one is that I thought it was going to be cheap, but it turns out it's actually way cheaper than I thought. Of course, you're not paying rent, you don't have electricity bills, you don't have a gas bill, you're not paying for water, and it's just so much cheaper than I thought. You end up buying way less things because you don't have a lot of room in your van. I have been living with probably a third of all my clothes and all my shoes and all my even camera gear. And that got me thinking after a while, we really sometimes just buy more things because we can, because we just take them home and then we get tired of it after a few weeks and we just put it away, we never see it again. Now every time I go to buy something, I have to consider where I'm going to put it. I'm especially in winter because you need coats and shirts and pants and like bigger items to protect yourself from the cold. My cabinets are full, so I don't have enough room. I don't have a lot of room to put more stuff. So um, for some strange reason, you end up going out less, or maybe this is probably just a reflection of me getting older, and I just don't go out a lot. When I go and I travel around Australia, I don't really have to pay for accommodation anymore. I just stay in a van. And even if I have the means to go and sometimes stay in a hotel, I don't really want to. I just want to sleep in my own bed, cook food in my own kitchen. So it's way cheaper than I thought. For these are some of the reasons, and I'm probably forgetting quite a few of them. But the bigger one is rent. So I've been able to save quite a bit of money over the last year and a half. Almost 2 years now, probably more than a year and a half. So that's the first one. I thought it was going to be cheap, but it's way cheaper than I thought. The second one is a bit of a weird one. It just feels to me that life just became simpler. It's almost like when you don't have a house, you have less stuff to manage. I think that's probably what it is. And during this video, I'm probably going to realize the things as I talk to you because I only wrote prompts. I don't have a script here. I'm just going off the cuff, just trying to remember and, realize, as they say, as you verbalize, you realize. So yeah, life just became simpler in a lot of ways. I'm pretty sure one of the reasons it's because it's such a small space. If I sit on the couch in a van and I just move my arms around, everything I need and own, really, and have, is around me. It's so easy to grab things. I remember at the beginning of the journey, I went to cat sit and house sit for my brother, and I just remember like going, oh, I have to walk all the way to the kitchen to make a coffee now. I have to walk all the way to the bathroom. Even those little things of like everything is just quicker. You have less things to manage. I don't have a lot of pair of shoes. I don't have to spend too much time making decisions around what I'm going to wear because I only have a little bit amount of clothes. So if anything, I feel like life has been way, way simpler lately. And I love this aspect of living in a van. Things just get simpler, less complexity in your life. Number three, I have more time to do the things that I want to do. And by doing the things that I want to do, I mean surfing. One of the things that I've noticed is that I save a lot of time, especially driving around, because I can check the forecast to go surfing the day before, drive at night time where there's no traffic, and be at the beach in the morning before everybody else and go surfing. When I have to go to the office and I have to drive to the city to park the van near the city and then get a train, I can do that at nighttime. When I go visit friends, I just feel like I have so much more time in my hands. I don't even know exactly why it feels this way. I mean, I gave you a few examples, but still, I don't know. It just feels like I have more time to do the things that I love to do. Number four, I spend way more time. My steak's ready. I know. I'll be there in a second. I spend way more time outdoors, and that's a given, right? I wake up in the morning and I'm living in a, I don't know, 4x2 space. I make my coffee and I go for a walk. I spend quite a bit of time outside of the van, out of the van during the day. I go a lot to coffee shops to do my work when I'm not in the office. I'm often going on camping trips because there's no setup. I have been spending way more time outdoors than before, and that's another benefit and an aspect of living in a van that I really, really like.
Believe me when I tell you that finding outdoor off-road accessories for my build was by far the hardest part. When I went online to try to find a ladder for the back of the van, a storage box, side steps, a bull bar, all I found in Australia were overpriced, very flimsy pieces of gear. But lucky for you, this is no longer the case here in Australia. During my build, I found Weldbeat, and I'm here to share their amazing gear with you. They're based in Australia, they're based in Sydney, and their gear is also made in Australia. High quality outdoor adventure ready equipment for your build. They've got everything you can possibly need for your build: the side steps, back and side ladder, storage boxes, jerry can holders, spare wheel carriers. And if you're curious, I dropped an affiliate link on the description of the video, and if you purchase the gear through that link, I get a little kickback, which helps to support the channel. Believe me, this is high quality adventure ready equipment, ready to take anything you throw at it. And on top of that, Weldbeats is coming up with a new range of products in 2025. If you take a look on their website right now, you're going to be able to see the new winch, the roof rack platform, and the storage crate. If you are searching for high quality, lightweight, Australian made off-road gear for your van, your search ends right here. Check the affiliate link in the description of this video below to jump on their website. You're not going to regret. Their products are amazing. They're awesome people. Thank you very much, Weldbeat, for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to the video.
Number 5, I have been able to travel more than ever before. That's the beauty of living in your car, living in your van. You can just literally, without having to make any plans, get up and go, hit the road. You don't even have to think about booking anything. If you get tired, you just stop at a rest stop and sleep for the night, take a nap during the day, keep driving. And all you have to worry about is the weather forecast and the surf forecast, because the rest is easy. It doesn't really matter. So the ability to travel without having to make any plans cannot be underrated, because it's amazing. So number 6, I think, the feeling that I have that I'm at home at all times is incredible. So that's number 6. I feel at home at all times, anywhere. That's something that I thought it was going to be a little bit weird, just like, staying in car parks and you're in different places all the time and there's people around your car, and I thought I was not going to feel at home at all. But it's something happens when you close all the doors and you have all the covers on the windows, that is just this little world, and it's your world, my world, and I just feel at home at all times. Sometimes what I really like, and I love this feeling, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I have no idea where I parked. And I have this game that I play with myself where I stay in bed until I can remember where I parked. And sometimes I'm get out of bed and I know where I am. I'm in whatever, Bayview, which is in the northern beaches in Sydney. And I open the window and I'm in Manly. And I just like, wow, I completely lose contact and touch with what's outside my windows in the van, and I just completely get lost. So that feeling of being home at all times is pretty incredible, and it's pretty cool. Let me dig in here because this is getting cold. Number 7, I was reading the prompt for this one, but I realized that I think I've already touched on it. but maybe I can expand a little bit more. So number 7, I realized that I don't need a lot of things to be happy. And by things I mean material stuff, probably because um, I touched on this before. I don't have a lot of room inside the van, so I don't have a lot of space to put more stuff. So I'm always conscious about what I'm buying. But something shifted in me. I remember a few years ago just going through a stage where I would just want to get another color of the same shirt, or I would want another surfboard, or another hat, or another pair of shoes. And I just, I don't know if it's because of the experiences that I'm having now, that I'm paying more attention to the experiences I'm having, the places I'm going. I just feel more present, and for some strange reason, I just feel like I don't need a lot of stuff. Having one of each seems enough, which is a weird thing to say because I do have double of a few things that I really like. A film camera being one of them. I have a backup camera, I guess. Am I a minimalist? I don't know. I just have this feeling that I don't need a lot of things to be happy. The steak's really good, delicious. Wow, the garlic butter on top just makes it. I never had a steak with the garlic butter on top. I'm having it for the first time and I'm loving it. We up to number 8, which I just forgot. What's number 8 again? What's number 8? Oh yeah. I thought that the basic needs and logistics of life were going to be very complicated, and they're not. From going to the bathroom in the morning, to going to the gym, to doing my laundry, to doing my shopping, getting water for the tanks in the van. It's just so easy. And I know I live in a country that was designed for people to live in vans. I know there's a lot of discussion around it's hard to live in a van in Australia, a lot of restrictions. I have a video on YouTube about that. If you want to watch it, just go check it. It's about van lifers in Australia being in trouble, and then I had a follow-up video talking about the comments. It's my most viewed video at this stage with like I think 40 some thousand views. It's very easy after you get used to it and you have experience. It's very easy to live in a van in Australia, I think. I have a gym membership. The question that people ask me all the time when they check the van out, like, where is your bathroom? I don't have a bathroom, and I don't need to, because I'm a man. I have a pee bottle, and I'm very regular when it comes to the heavy lifting of the mornings after coffee. I wake up in the morning, I either go to the gym, or I go for a surf, or I go to the office, and they have bathrooms there. To have a shower, the office I work at, the building has what we call end of trip facilities, where you can ride your bike or go for, or run from your house if you want to. You get there. That's why they call end of trip facilities, because a lot of people ride their push bikes to the city. They have bike locks. They have a place to park their bike. They end their trip and they go to the office. So I have the ability to take a shower there. Anytime Fitness, which is the gym that I have a membership with, they have gyms everywhere. Even today I went to the gym here in Nara. And it's just easy, like, to go and do your laundry once a week. It's all about the logistics. You just organize yourself. You just put things in certain order that you get to do it in a consistent manner in the same day of the week. I do my laundry on Sundays. I fill up the tanks on Sundays. I even shave my beard on Sundays. I just try to do everything on Sundays. Sunday is my day to enjoy, but also to run a few errands and to get my life organized for the next week. So the logistics of life are pretty easy, way easier than I thought. Like, to fill up the tanks, for example, in a van, I just have 2 or 3 gas stations around the area where I fill up the tanks. I don't drink that water. I pretty much cook with that water, brush my teeth, and wash my face. And I boil the water when I have to make a coffee or something. So it's just easy and it's safe. That's another privilege, another blessing of living in this beautiful country where I don't have to worry about my safety. I do worry. I I'm careful with where I go and how I live my life, and I have security system in a van and everything. But where I come from in Brazil, I don't think I would be able to do what I'm doing and live my lifestyle back in Brazil at all. I believe people do it. I don't know of any van life YouTube channels in Brazil. I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, living in Australia, it's a blessing. Logistics of life are, in my opinion, it's very easy. So number 9, when I started living in my van, I was very self-conscious about telling people that I lived in my van. I had this sort of, I don't even know what to call it, this self-discrimination against myself. Um, I don't know why that I just felt like and thought if I was to say to people, I live in my van, people are going to think I was struggling financially or that I was kind of crazy or I don't know. I just felt this kind of almost like shame around the idea of like I would be in my mid 40s living in my car. So it took me a while to get over it, to accept and feel comfortable that's my decision. I am in a very privileged position where I could rent an apartment, I could rent a little house somewhere, but I choose to live in my car because I love it. And it's been the best season of my life. I think I said it already, by far. But at the beginning, I was very self conscious. I will remember feeling a little bit of shame when I met people. Oh, where do you live? I live everywhere and anywhere. I live in my car. And every single time when I shared with people that I lived in my van, the reaction was pretty cool. And of course, as humans, as much as we like to say that we don't care about what people think of us, we do. Of course, we all do. Um, and I have kids, and I'm in my mid 40s, so I just remember feeling a little bit funny about it for a very long time. But over time, not only because of the reaction of people, just because I started loving it more and more and enjoying and really um, connecting with this way of living, I started to feel proud. That's how I feel right now. I am very proud of the way that I'm choosing to live this season of my life. Of course, I don't think this is a forever thing, but for now, it serves me so well. Not only the present, but the plans that I have for the future. Um, and it's always really nice to have a chat to people, sometimes by the beach or at the campsite. Just a few minutes ago, one of the other campers came over to say hi and ask what I was doing and talked about the van a little bit. And then when I share with people what I do for a living and how I'm living my life, people think it's pretty cool. So to have that feeling of acceptance from people also feels nice. Um, and people normally say to me that they feel very inspired, that they wish they could do it, and it's pretty cool. I feel that I have this big privilege. I think to be able to choose to live this way is a privilege, and I don't take it for granted. And a lot of people, I understand, live in their cars, in their vans because they have to, because they don't have an alternative, and I'm choosing to do this. So it feels pretty good. And yeah, I feel very appreciative and blessed to be able to live my life this way. And number 10, I just have a whole new level of appreciation for the comforts of living in a house. When I go to a hotel, which happens sometimes, I just feel like, man, having running water, having a bigger bed, having aircon, having room service, which is not a reality when you're in a house, but just having access to the comforts of life just became like such a nicer experience. Because even though it's really comfortable to live in a van, it's still living in a van. It's very small. Sometimes you run out of water. Sometimes it's super cold. Sometimes it's super hot. You don't have much control around those things. Um, so yeah, I have a new level of appreciation for the comforts of living in a house, which is something that I used to take for granted. That I think we all do because we get used to it, but I don't take it for granted anymore at all. And here's a bonus one that I just thought about it now, number 11, I thought I was going to miss living in a house very quickly. And I'm happy to report that it hasn't happened, not even once. In more than a year and a half living in this van, I haven't missed living in a house, not even once. And I would not trade right now this van for any house. I'm really content. I'm really happy. But it was something that was surprising to me. I thought I was going to miss living in a house pretty quickly. I was wondering how long this was going to last. I had a few people say to me as well, well, we're all excited. You're going to live in a van for a while and it's going to be hard and you're probably going to rent an apartment in a few months. And I'm not forcing it. It just feels right. It's really enjoyable. It suits my lifestyle and I love it. Yeah, so there you have it. These were my thoughts, reflections after almost 2 years living in my van. As you can tell, I'm pretty happy. So if you're still watching, thank you. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I also have a profile on Instagram, Drive Surf Camp. You can follow me there for more sort of behind the scenes daily content. So yep, I'm gonna clean up my mess from dinner and hit the sack because it's getting late. Once again, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.